A first of its kind lawsuit. Nature is suing to protect itself.
Is this the
So,
magazine or the
mm-mm,
actual environment?
the environment, the environment.
Ooh.
So, Lake Mary Jane in Central Florida is in danger from human development that would turn 1,900 acres of wetlands, pine flatlands, and cypress forest into homes, lawns, and office buildings. The question being asked is, should nature have legal rights? The lake is connected to several neighboring natural features, including canals, a marsh, other lakes, the Everglades, and more. In Orange County, Lake Mary Jane, together with Lake Hart and the Crosby Island Marsh and two boggy streams, filed a case in Florida State Court that the development would adversely impact them. Chuck O'Neill, founder of Speak Up Wakiva, I believe that's how it's pronounced, an organization named for a river that runs near his home. And until recently, he was also the president, the chairman, and the director at large of a group called the Florida Rights of Nature Network, is the co-plaintiff. So he filed it on behalf of nature. Similarly, a number of animals have preceded Mary Jane to court, including an elephant at the Bronx Zoo, neglected pets, an entire species like the Palilla, an endangered bird in Hawaii, that successfully sued for allowing feral goats to graze on its last remaining bit of habitat. And now I do want to take a moment because this popped up in the news recently about this Bronx Zoo elephant. So Happy the elephant is the name of the Bronx Zoo elephant. Happy passed the mirror test, which is where they put an X on the elephant's forehead, and then show her the X, her head, her body in a mirror. And Happy the elephant was actually repeatedly using its trunk to touch the X that was taped onto its forehead, indicating awareness of herself. And advocates are saying that she has constitutional rights and shouldn't be unlawfully detained without a court order, which they say in her current environment is similar to a prison cell. And instead, she needs to be with other elephants in a much larger elephant sanctuary. I will say that legal experts think it won't happen because their questioning is, where do you draw the line? Do your pets or your food sources now have human rights? Who will decide? And they don't think any judge is going to take that on. But other countries have ventured into this territory, but mainly focused on endangered species. But, and I don't know if you have anything on that, but Mary Jane is a unique case because those were living things and this is not. Okay. So the case, right? Is it overboard or is it overdue? And what came to mind for me when I was reading through all of this is ships and corporations have rights similar to a person. And if we depend on nature,
when they want to use it, when they want to be people, that is.
There you go.
They get to choose.
Well, it's nice to have the flexibility.
Yeah, it kind of is. I kind of wish I could be a corporation sometimes.
Give myself a golden parachute.
Among many other things.
Yeah. But we do depend on nature, right? And we are part of an ecosystem. In essence, work with and basically for nature. So why shouldn't nature have rights? We are nature. So environmental groups shared this sentiment, and the Florida Chamber of Commerce does not, and stated, your local lake or river could sue you, not on my watch. Go figure. So the notion that natural objects like woods and streams should have rights was first put forward about a half a century ago by Christopher Stone, a law professor at the University of Southern California. Each time there is a movement to confer rights onto some new entity, the proposal is bound to sound odd or frightening or laughable, Stone wrote. This is partly because until the rightless thing receives its rights, we cannot see it as anything but a thing for the use of us. What he means by that quote is that as long as natural objects were valued in terms of their worth to humans, they could legally be destroyed. So Stone cited the example of someone polluting a stream. People living downstream could take the polluter to court and perhaps win damages, but the waterway and the species dependent on it would never recoup their losses unless they were protected by something like an endangered species list. Mm-hmm. And when you think about ecosystems existing for tens of thousands of years or more, and it seems really arrogant that we just come along and destroy it, why shouldn't nature be protected? So in 2005, residents of Tamaqua Borough, apologies for that again, In eastern Pennsylvania were fighting a plan to dump toxic sludge in an open pit in town. And one of the members of this borough's town council attended a meeting with representatives of the Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund, which had been set up to help local groups battle such projects. The organization's leader at the time, a lawyer named Thomas Lindsay, had recently chanced upon Stone's article. It occurred to him that if trees, or in this case, of Tamaqua ecosystems more generally had standing, then the town would have another legal tool to use in its campaign. He helped draft an anti-local sludge ordinance that, among many other things, declared it unlawful for any corporation or its directors to interfere with the existence and flourishing of natural communities. For the purpose of the ordinance, natural communities were to be considered persons. When the ordinance came up for vote in 2006, the town council was split 3-3. Tamaqua's, mayor cast a tie-breaking vote in favor of the natural communities. He later said, "If I'm going to be sued, so be it." Good for him. So Mary Jane's state lawsuit itself was spurred by something that happened in 2020. So again, those were all local things, but this is the state.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was spurred by something that happened in 2020 when O'Neill drafted a Bill of Rights for the two rivers near Orlando that were eventually expanded to include all of the county's waterways. Mm-hmm. When voters went to the polls to vote if nature had a right to a healthy ecosystem, 89% said yes, and the county charter was amended.
That's astounding.
Isn't that amazing?
That's where that is, well, very progressive.